Alright. Just looking at everything on my side, making sure all the audio levels are properly spliced. I think we're good to go. We have an EU versus America operation today. It's going to be Green 4 versus Blue 4. Let me go ahead and put the prediction up because I know we're going to have people coming in for that. So let me get that set up. Who will win this Wargames match? And we'll set it for 15 minutes. I could probably do it for 20. 20 will be a bit longer because this is going to be a long PvP match. So we got to adjust it accordingly. We can see that there are multiple different spawn points for both sides. We've got one down here at a depot, one over at the airbase. Blue 4, we have their depot over here, and then their airbase all the way over there. Definitely separated in two angles. You can see the range of area Blue 4 can go versus the range of area Green 4 can go. Yeah, right, crowd? I did see about that. Was that last night or the previous night? But either way, yeah, no, we could do a spec op or stealth mission like that. Could probably throw that into the week. But I'm going to start getting into the habit of letting my player base vote for everything again because we have... I'm going to be honest, with this being the last full year of Arma 3, next year we get Arma 4 sometime in the middle. I'm just going to be very... How would I word it? I'm just going to let the players choose what they want to play because, you know, this is going to be the lowest we've ever seen Arma 3. And then, you know, things will pick back up again next year. So, c'est la vie. We'll see how things go. But nonetheless, Crowd Slayer, thanks for the 52-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. But I think something like that would be fine. I know a lot of people want to go back to some basics. So I think a simple nighttime insertion, storming of a position, grabbing a guy and leaving. Well, two guys. It was a guy and his wife. That would make for a simple Arma op. You know, get in, get out. Easy peasy. Seeker, how are you doing? Let me know if that iteration is good. It can be configurable to anyone in the group. To explain that to everyone else, Seeker's having me work on an op based on Battle Royale 2. And then I had Audrey Hotto script some stuff for me. So I got to get the scripts from him, send him his payment for it. And we'll have a really funny op this weekend. I'm going to be shooting for sometime on Saturday. I gotta talk to Dream, though. Dream wanted something on the weekend. I might ask him if he can... I think he actually just bumped the time slot to 5 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock, which means I can start it at, like, 2 and run it before then. But otherwise, hope you're all doing A-okay. You got your driver's license? Nice, Dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and locally mute myself because I just heard someone in the TeamSpeak channel doing a final number count. We're at 140 at the moment, but there's still some people running late, apparently. But as you can see, this is going to be a 3-hour operation. They started about 5 minutes late because, again, people were missing. But it usually never goes to those 3 hours. Usually people get murked by them. But anyway, let me do a breakdown of what today is. So this is FNF Wargames. This is the lawn form styled PvP event that Nemesis made. He's still in FNF, of course, but, you know, as an admin of FNF. So, there's two sides. Both sides can have a starting area in a few different locations. We can see Green 4 can start a squad in their side. Blue 4 can start a squad on their side. And then there's a neutral zone in the middle. It's going to be fighting over the town of Mezmovo, which we've been in before in plenty of different operations in Ulikia, which is the map here. The one that comes to mind for me was the pizza op, and then they fought Freddy Fazbear over here, and Freddy proceeded to murk half of them with an axe. Good times. But, I mean, we've done plenty of crazy things on this map, like the Stalker Anti-Stasi campaign, which was just nuts. That was just a trial in can we even survive the insane settings of that damn game. But otherwise, let's go ahead and go over the mission details here. So both sides going to be fighting over 3 sectors. Whoever has more points from the 3 sectors in total will win. Got to remember, though, this is a 3-life operation, limited vehicles, anything can go with that. Otherwise, we have a 3,000-meter render distance. Fortify points are 2,500, so that means both sides can fortify their one sector into oblivion if they want to. They just have a few minutes to start with. And then we have our standard, 3-hour match here. Well, I'm just going to skim over this. So this is the 8th Wargames. Feedback is always appreciated after the game. If you encounter any problems in game, press the admin tool. There are 3 sectors in your base: light blue, orange, and red. But it looks like some of the text is cut off. Either way, whoever controls the majority of the sectors for majority of the game are going to win pretty easily. Area of operations, small-sized FOBs and towns. Modern day, January 3rd. Weather is mostly sunny. Mission rules. FNF rules applies with the addition of the following rules. You don't lone wolf, you have to follow chain of command. 1 squad is allowed to start in the sector. Everyone else starts from the other areas. India, which are sappers, can teleport to their own zone, blah, blah, blah. Echoes 1 through 3 will need all 3 players. I believe Echoes are specialized teams, so they're either AT or AA teams, depending on what weapon they want to take. Helicopters are allowed to leave the border of play, but no more than 500 meters, so they can't just do a giant fly around. You're not allowed to steal enemy radios or uniforms. You're not allowed to get on top of to build on top of tall buildings. Camping or attacking the enemy base is not allowed, so you can't just camp around. I've seen that done a few times, though, so a little bit of that's okay, but if you just outright camp, then it's not. You're not allowed to rearm the artillery vehicles, and then for fair play, any intention of, screwing with the rules or exploiting things, anything considered cheese, I love that term, is not allowed. Blah, blah, blah. That's up to admin's discretion. That's why we have admins. OCAP's in full effect. We have a big amount of abbreviations here, so tanks, infantry, APCs, wheeled carriers. They even have boats, helicopters, of course. Auto rifle, machine gun, sniper rifle, automatic rifle. Oh, heavy sniper. Neat. Otherwise, let's go ahead and look at Blue 4's loadout. So Blue 4 are going to be our EU kits. They're going to do Finnish for this one. Nice. So we have, if I remember correctly, RK93s or 95 is the most modernized version. They could also be 62s, but with the way they're modernized, it's probably an 93 or 95. The difference is just the parts and the modifications they made, but it's a 7.62x39. No, it would technically be 5.56 because they're NATO. My bad. So it might also be by 39 too, but if it's a NATO country, it should be 5.56 based. But I'm not able to tell that from just this image alone. We've got the Mark 211, which is a marksman rifle, Mini-Me for the auto rifle, their version of M72 Law, their version of a PKM, which is going to be chambered in 7.62x51 because it's a NATO country. They also have tow launchers, the little tripods to set up, Barrett, 50 cals, and then we also see some ACRs, which I assume are going to go to the Spec Ops. Their vehicles include transport Land Rovers, some 50 cal Land Rovers, other transports, motorbikes, some MRAPs for transport, some trucks, the CV-9030, so that's going to be their IFE, infantry fighting vehicle. They also have some main battle tanks, some large transport helicopters that are armed with some sideways miniguns. Those are going to get shot down pretty easily, though, by IFEs. They also have 2 copies of full RRR, repair, refuel, rearm. What NATO country is this? Finnish. We also have some transport trucks, some MD500s for scouting, because they can only carry like 4 people. 50 cal static and a 240 static. Green 4, meanwhile, going to be U.S. Marine Woodland kits. We got SPAR 16s. That's the vanilla name for it. I think it's just HK 416s technically, or Mark 18s. It might be a Mark 18 actually, but it's a 5.56 AR. They got some 320 launchers for them as well. Their own Mark 11 marksman rifles, 249s. All right, this one, the difference is the end piece there, but it's just another version of some sort of Mod 18, but, with the 320 GL. So probably for Spec Ops. AT4s for their AT launchers, 240 Bravos, their own tows, and then these ones are probably for the Spec Ops guys because they're camoed. They also have M72 Laws, their 50 cal, and then MP7s for their crew. Otherwise, we have some transport Humvees. They've got the SOAP mod, or the SOCOM Humvees, so that has the 50 cal with the 240 and then a rear 240 as well. It's basically just a up-armored mobile gun platform, but, 180 rounds going to cook it. They got some snorkeled versions of the Humvee as well. Multiple transport trucks. Their IFE is going to be the Bradley. Big surprise. Haha, that's sarcasm. 5 main battle tanks, 2 copies of full RRR. UH-60s with the miniguns on the side, some little birds for transport. These ones, though, have the bench seats, so they can carry more people. Quad bikes, some transport MRAPs, some box. I think these are mobile respawn points, if I recall correctly. So the Blue 4 equivalent is this. And then you've got, you know, their copies of some statics and whatnot. But that is the side breakdown for both sides. Quickly, Jesse is going to be the Blue 4 commander. Orthy Oliver is going to be his 2IC. Green 4, it's going to be Fonz leading with Bursty as the 2IC. The reason the game was a little late to start was because Fonz was late, so you can't really start with the leadership being so late. You got multiple tanks and IFEs for Blue 4, the Finnish side over here. You got all their helicopters, some additional vehicles. They've got some other stuff already lined up with some Triple R vehicles ready to go here. See some motorcycles, some additional vehicles around here, some ammo caches and whatnot. They can bring that in. But otherwise, that is Blue 4's airbase bustling about here. They got their main transport down here. So this is probably going to be some of their Spec Ops guys with some additional vehicles. They got to make sure they don't arm anything in the beginning, though. I wonder if Nemesis has a copy of anything in debug, just in case people arm out themselves, because if you guys have been watching, I want to say the past month and a half, you've seen an uptick in quote-unquote ARMA incidents, aka when people ram their vehicles together and they blow themselves up. So hopefully Nemesis prepped that accordingly. We got the color system here for them to see what objectives they're meaning to go. They have a breakdown of what friendlies and enemies look like. So this is the U.S. forces, this is the Finnish forces. They do look a little similar, though, so I won't be surprised if I see some friendly fire incidents. Looking at some of these RKs here, we do see some red dots on them, so it might just be red dot warfare. One of the marksman rifles, though, has a Elkin scope on it. Took me a while to remember. Looks like they get a bit of a choice, though, because that looks like a 230A. The A is for 7.62. You can actually see it right there, and then the PVS is that little red dot up top. But my personal favorite scope in all of Arma 3 is the 230 series. That just gives me the most bang for my buck. It's a little annoying to cycle through if you don't have the red dot up top, because then it just gives you an iron sight, but that's what I've always gone to. Got one of the marksmen right here, special operator force there. We see some Mozes in play for Blue 4 as well. Again, I think the Echo teams, which are your AT teams, get the choice of either having the AT or AA. So I'd imagine AT is going to be the Carl Gustav, excuse me. And then AA is probably going to be some sort of stinger. Anyway, I've looked at Blue 4 enough. Let's go ahead and look at Green 4. Green 4's forward spawn is going to be their SOCOM Humvees. See some of their 240s in play. Some red dots, so that's CCO 68 scopes. Which scope is not the proper term, it's just a damn red dot. But you can see that 50 cal on the I almost call them Bradleys. 240 Bravos in the back. We see a backpack right here, so that's probably tied to the tow system that they're also going to be fielding. This map, though, a lot of really nice Overwatch positions to put tow launchers on. And then we've got their tanks and IFE set up in the back. We see infantry mounting up in some of these little birds ready to go. We also see a vehicle over here. This is a Blackhawk. Might be loading 2 Blackhawks, though, and we see another Carl Gustav on the Green 4 side, excuse me. Now, mod-wise, I don't think the RK, if it's a 5.56 RK, I don't think those mags are going to be compatible with the Spar, or I keep calling them Spar 16s. It's the vanilla name. Mark 18s. I don't think they're compatible with the Mark 18s. I don't think the Mark 18 mags, which are RHS mags, are going to be compatible with the RKs. What will be compatible are the 249 to Mini-Me boxes, those 5.56 200 round magazines. Those will be compatible. I don't think the 240s will be compatible with the... Let me go ahead and look. So the 240s, I'm not sure if they're going to be compatible with Blue 4's machine gun. Yeah. No. So different models there. The marksman rifle mags are going to be compatible, though, because those are both RHS. The Carl Gustavs are going to be compatible, so I'm going to be really curious to see if anyone loots Carl Gustavs and then just starts using them against their opponent. That'd be pretty interesting to see. Let's go ahead and have a look, though, over at some of the objectives here. So Green 4, we already see fortifying the heck out of this road. We see they've set up some defensive statics on the road as well. They really want to cover that road because that is where the enemy are going to mainly be coming from. Gotta be careful, though, because they could easily be outflanked from the north. Because the vehicles, they can either go south right here or they can continue on. Maybe not, actually. I was expecting to see them potentially raise up one of these areas or make a bridge. So never mind. If those aren't raised up anywhere, the water's going to be too deep for most crossings. They could still technically get away with a crossing right here and here. So this could be a crossing point. Otherwise, they'd have to go all the way down here to use that crossing point or just swing down to the airfield to get to the objective. Meanwhile, Green 4, from this airbase, they can either go all the way to the left. No, they cannot because the road's cut off the border here. So the only crossing points they have to get into the AO are right here, or going all the way around on the right and then coming in from that side. So there's a lot of choke points for either side to bring forces on. It's just neither side's allowed to camp them outright. So interesting map balance here. I'm used to seeing a lot more openness of, you know, either side being able to commit the vehicles wherever they want, but no, there's actually going to be some genuine supply lines here that both sides are going to have to utilize, but again, they're not allowed to be camped, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but it makes the predictable, it makes, how do I word this? You're able to predict where your opponent's going to be fielding their vehicles in, if that makes any sense. So Green 4 doesn't have to worry about any vehicles coming in from their immediate far right flank up here. Blue 4 doesn't have to worry about anything coming in from their southern flank except for one area right here. And then from there they can go anywhere. But I still think whoever controls this southern ridge with their tow launchers is going to have the biggest advantage of the AO. Because up here, setting up tows and then being able to watch most of where your opponent comes in. If Green 4 can set up tows around this hill top over here, and they can catch pretty much anything coming in on this side, this is going to be pretty important for Green 4 to take. Blue 4, if they take this southern ridge and then are able to basically snipe any vehicles that come in, that's going to be the most important. Our final neutral objective, by the way, is on the edge of town, which, again, all the more reason of whoever controls this ridge that's able to then overwatch it with AT is probably going to have the superior advantage here. We have 6 seconds left to safe start. The 165-minute round will begin momentarily. What are your guys' thoughts? What nation has the worst drivers? You see, that's not a national thing. That's a player thing, and that's impossible for me to predict. So I don't think the CRV 9030 has any tow launch capabilities. From what I can see, I do not see one. So right off the bat, the Bradleys do have an advantage. We see some minigun fire from the helicopter, I guess, testing the weapon. But I would imagine the U.S., they do have the tow launchers on their vehicles. They do have the little birds that have bench seats so they can transport people with those vehicles compared to the MDs that Green 4 has. Or excuse me, Blue 4 has, my bad. So there are a few advantages given to Green 4. Now, how is that going to transition into the game? Don't know yet. Because putting a vehicle on an overwatch position is very risky because, you know, if another vehicle comes into the kill zone, which is literally all of this open area around here, that vehicle is probably going to snipe the overwatch vehicle, but you never know. I think whoever is going to win this fight is going to have better Overwatch control. This is one of those AOs where if you can just set up a good Overwatch position with like a tow launcher or something, and you can snipe out your opponent's vehicles, you're going to be doing a lot better than others in that regard. So you got plenty of U.S. forces deploying down here. You've got a Blue 4 group coming in. This is Jesse's group, so this is Command. He's going to be tracking these helicopters off to the side. I doubt we're going to see these helicopters get very aggressive with each other. I mean, the miniguns maybe, but this looks like some sort of intercept course. They're going to try to get the right gunner lined up with the helicopter here. Nope, he's turning away last second. Yeah, that pilot didn't really give him a lot of room to work with there. I'd imagine, though, if Blue 4 deploys somewhere in the rear and puts their command team on a nice overwatch position to track where their opponents are coming from, that would be a pretty good call, and it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do right here. They're ditching it. Right off the bat, you see a few people slide off the ridge. So I gotta wonder, so there's an AT team over here, so they're gonna try to basically snipe vehicles that come in. And they're banking on them potentially coming out from this bridge. So I see what they've done. They landed the helicopter here to partially block the road, and they're gonna try to AT vehicles in this tunnel, because if they're able to do that, they're able to basically block this tunnel from being used because of the wrecks. That is a very good idea. They're also setting up AT mines. I would have set up the AT mines right at the base of this tunnel, because then you can completely block it off. All right, Jesse might be moving the helicopter. That's a really smart idea, though. I really like that. Anyway, combat has begun. A Blue 4 vehicle came in and was immediately taken out by Lolo. Multiple kills there. They're double-tapping bodies. Masano is firing at some additional Blue 4 guys that have run up into this AO here. Green 4 have controlled the middle sector. Blue 4 have rushed up. They're trying to get into positions to spawn camp here. But I imagine this is... Oh, no, that's not the infantry that land on the helicopter. They're trying to come around in a flanking position. So these guys, I think, are actually going to go for Sector 1. And then Green 4 is going to go for the middle sector. So where's the rest of Blue 4? They're coming in on a convoy. But Green 4 rushing all their forces in early on is going to really help them out. But Blue 4 are going to potentially be able to cut off Green 4's armor support with that bridge if Green 4 decide to utilize it. So a good start overall for Green 4, but can Blue 4 bounce back? Sector officially taken. So that is for Green 4 now. You're going to start seeing points ticking up. It's a little hard with all the text, but you can kind of see that number switching. So they're just suppressing each other. Green 4, though, they just need to hold defensive on the zone itself. They don't need to assault this infantry group. This Green 4 group can then go in and secure that area. But Blue 4 will receive reinforcements soon. However, will they be cut off by this group here? This is an Echo team. They do have a Maz out. They could pretty much lock this road down. India might be able to get by because they're speeding through. Green 4 isn't ready yet. But you see this massive convoy up here. They're starting to send a few vehicles to break off. But if Green 4 can get control of this MSR, they can pretty much intercept what comes in. But this vehicle is going to get by. It only has 2 people, though, so it's not super crazy. That's just part of India. Is there a way to display the map view? You mean this? But feel free to clarify. They stop in the open. Snodgepair going to line up an AT shot. Pilot needs to get out of his backblast. Vehicles barely has its engine on. I think they're debating if they want to waste an AT round on it. Engine picks up again. Nope, they just lost the opportunity there. Maybe they didn't see it in that angle, but that would have been really funny if they got that shot. But this right here is a really nice spot to potentially engage and then, you know, take things out at the roundabout. We'll see what they do in transition to. But yeah, whole map view is roughly this. Real quick, the tank's still coming around. Let's look at Blue 4's ambush here. They set up 2 AT mines on the road right there. You've got a scouting team over here. These guys should probably be sighting to see if any armor comes up, which you do see that tank coming by. But there's no AT guy to watch back over here, so we'll see how that plays. Meanwhile, we have a Green 4 vehicle coming around, but Blue 4, they did send some vehicles up here, so they have control of this ridge at the moment. Looks like you have a majority of the vehicles have actually pulled off. They're going to get on this northern ridge and instead overwatch from there. That's a good call. You can see Blue 4 has much more manpower in the zone at the moment. Because, or excuse me, Green 4 has more manpower in the zone. Blue 4 sending a lot of forces on fringe areas here. But we now have another truck coming in. This is Foxtrot 3. So again, only 2 guys is one of their Spec Ops teams. But Green 4 has total control of this ridge, so I am expecting to see that vehicle get sniped by something. Is it possible for me to put it up on another screen while I stream? No. It has to be done in this interface. That's just a limitation of the game engine. We see that SOCOM Humvee got sniped by Blue 4, so it's taken out. Here comes Foxtrot 3. They're going to have to slow down to make the turn on the roundabout. That's what puts them in a vulnerable position. Where's the AT? You had the angle there. He didn't have ammo in it! You haven't even fired an AT shot yet. What do you mean you don't have ammo in the damn launcher? Now he has ammo in the launcher. Wait. Absolutely based if you can make this snipe. Hold on. Where's your AT guy? Why is he not here where the vehicles are gonna be? Oh my god. Alright, Green 4 are choking a little bit. I get why they want to do ridge security. I was expecting some of them to go further on and actually take the sector, though. That's not the case. Another helicopter's landing over here, so this is Jesse. He is now getting harassed by some Green 4 elements here. This is one of their Spec Ops teams. Shoot him. Shoot. Yes, hit him. Hit him again. Jesse's trying to get in to start the engine of the helicopter and then get out and defend himself so he's not vulnerable. But I guess he wasn't double tapping V or something because every time he got out, it shut the engine off. I don't think it would have mattered. Even though Lars was kind of choking his shots there, he still gets them where it's important. So that is Blue 4 command down. And Jesse isn't able to get the spin around quick enough, and Lars double taps him. All right. So even Fawns is over here trying to coordinate this ambush setup, but they've let all of the vehicles that they could have sniped go, so I'm a little confused on what their plan is there. Green 4, we can see they've set up a very nice defensive zone around the sector. A little bit of a blind spot to the south, but they're relying on their ambush position to snipe anything that comes in. That hasn't been the case. Now I just heard a tank round fire. Ah, because they drove into the ambush. And now they're panically firing back here. Which, again, this confuses me. You have the AT right here. You could finish the vehicle off. I really don't understand why he's not ready there to snipe any vehicle. Like, he could easily be in a position, like, right behind here to then come around and finish the tank off after it hits the mines, but instead they're just up here. Like, the positioning for both sides is really vexing me here. So now he's coming in, but there's this massive smoke screen in the way. I don't know why they had the AT up here. Oh, that tank has thermals, though. It's easily able to see him through that smoke. So, yeah, Blue 4 choked that. Green 4's choking. Like, both sides are choking their ambush positions. It's weird. It's really weird. Got Pupper coming in to try to see what's going on. He's unable to get an angle. Saller should be doing what Harrington's doing and flanking around at this point. You would think ambushing, like the first ambush that happened, Blue 4 took out a nice chunk of Green 4. That was done fine, but no, actually it was Green 4 taking out Blue 4, so my bad. Regardless, Green 4 pulled back. I don't know, just a bit of a weird start. Green 4 trying to reinsert people on this LZ because this is the previous LZ they used, but now Blue 4's camping it. So Robel here probably died or was late. He was late. So they put him in a similar LZ to then probably get with his guys over here, but now he's going to probably get picked off. Now you got Green 4 starting to assault the position itself. They're going to be able to take that sector. Green 4 having control of all 3 sectors. If they can maintain that for at least 30 minutes, it's going to be an early GG. Because at that point, Blue 4 can't recapture enough to win the game. So I think the reason Blue 4 is a bit slow in deployment is they have a lot of forces on Overwatch here in other positions. Meanwhile, Green 4 is just kind of rushing for control of the sectors here. And usually in Wargames, whoever shows more aggression on the objectives themselves wins the match. Sector control and Overwatch control are important, don't get me wrong. Sector is going to always trump the control of Overwatch, but Overwatch is important to snipe any reinforcements that come in. However, that's only if they actually, you know, do the sniping. There should be 2 dead vehicles here, but there isn't. There should be a dead tank over there, but there isn't. Like, only 1 out of 3 ambushes that have happened have been successful, so that's... Could see the CRV come around, though, and get hit, but who knows. We also have a tank tucked away over here. Really cheeky spot. Has a little bit of Overwatch control from there, but the trees are going to cut it off. Take a look back at the tank here. The minigun is now suppressing the ridge as these guys are trying to find an angle to eliminate this tank. Tank is just disabled, though. One of the AT mines was tripped, not the other. He's got a great angle. Makes the shot. Hits the top of the engine. This should cook off. And that does kill one of the crew inside. Again, would have been better if they engaged it in here because that would have completely blocked the tunnel. Defraud jumps down the ditch. But taking out a tank early on is good if you at least controlled your sectors, but Blue 4 isn't. Blue 4 are going to send a counter-attacking team in because they realize that the sector is being taken. But look at Green 4's even control, or at least placement of forces in the zone. They're not doing anything on Overwatch. They're instead putting everything in the area here and instead just focusing on the objectives. It's a good call. I think they're trying to bring in their vehicles to do Overwatch. They're getting cut off. That's all right. As long as they have total control of the sectors, it's fine. I hear a drone. That's a Crocus. That has the wires in front of it. That is an AT drone, but it can be used against infantry as well. So I gotta wonder if it's Blue 4s or Green 4s and where it's going to touch down. Blue 4 have a squad up here. They're going to try to maneuver them into this area. Green 4 have some of this area locked down, but there's a little bit of defilade cover between them and their opponent, so that's going to allow Blue 4 to get a little closer. We see Blue 4 trying to get some snipes on this position. Still have this AT Overwatch team. They have no idea that there's there's a Blue 4 group on their rear engaging. We also see that Green 4 guy is no longer there. I'm assuming he got sniped. but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of these guys then maneuver up to that ridge to try to engage them. But the longer Green 4 can maintain control of all 3 of these sectors, the more likely they're going to be to win. Green 4, meanwhile, a little bit of a mistake here. They have no one in the sector itself. They just have a bunch of guys on Overwatch. If one Blue 4 guy is able to sneak past these garrison buildings and get to the sector, that zone's going to be retaken. It's going to force Green 4 to leave these buildings and probably take heavy casualties as they leave, because literally next to them, we have another garrison building. And there's that sector officially taken. All 3 sectors are now green. Gagarin might catch Nick here. Wow. You saw Nick immediately put those shots on that guy's head. Thought I saw Cullis back here too. Okay, no, he ran further away. He is a medic, so he could get Nick in. Nope, Nick wakes back up. Green 4 sending a few more forces in. Nick double tapping the body. You have the tank and the IFV now setting up to do Overwatch on this area, but we do have Green 4 AT still set up. And you have these garrisons continuing to fight. More Overwatch, but that is just them firing at a helicopter. Quick check in the back. That tank is still abandoned, never fully cooked off. And they got Defoy. He's landed with that MP7. He's trying to clear out that Blue 4 team, but they're now retreating. You're seeing some suppressive fire by Brand here. However, Green 4 have gotten in this little bunker. Tank is now coming down. If Green 4 aren't able to snipe it, that tank is going to completely bulldoze Green 4's position here. So we need to see AT hit. Bursty has an AT4 that might not be able to do the job unless he hits the top of the tank where its engines are in the rear. It's going to have to be Snodgebear. He hears the engine coming, though. Tank's going to hold. It's not going to go further up, though, because the defensive position's right there. So instead, it's going to probably pick a position back here to snipe that area. We'll have to see. All right, calling in Snickers here. Potentially to be flanked by Fast Sugar. Look at the amount of Blue 4. It looks like, so this team was coming around the northern side, and now they're instead opting to flank around. Green 4, again, have a good amount of defenders in the sector here, but they have obvious gaps in the AO, and they're relying on only a handful of people to hold that spot. Depso now being suppressed. They're staying low. But Green 4 do not really have the manpower to maneuver them aside. They're really just relying on their garrison positions to snipe any infantry that got caught in the open. This is where Blue 4 would need to bring up a tank or something heavy to suppress or even destroy those buildings. But they're just getting cut off. I just saw Blue 4 fire some rounds up here. Ah, they see the A-team mine, that's why. But this is giving time for Green 4 to move that A-team around. And they destroy it, nice. So good eye by the driver to call that out and immediately pull that back. That's giving Green 4 some time to move their forces up to potentially hit that vehicle, though. Tank round comes in as they engage this tower. These guys are just stuck there holding it. These guys are now opting to go off-road to come in, and they're going to be able to engage the rear of this position. More rounds coming in as they're trying to destroy the building. AP rounds or HE would both do a considerable amount of damage. These guys are going to have to run. AT round comes in. It misses. Hits the tree. Tank immediately bails back and puts smoke out. Another round comes in. I think they hit the other tree. I'm seeing no damage indication on that tank. So, Green 4's AT more effective against trees than actual armor so far. Oh, look at this. This is what I was talking about. Start with the grenade. Start with the grenade when you have 3 people like this. They start with the far guy instead. There's the grenade. There we go. That was so funny that he came behind a friendly. That entire team wiped because of this flanking attack. Fast Sugar knew how to take that out. Nosicle was a little confused on that, but he picked it up. Beautiful takedown. The entirety of Blue 4's main assault on that position is now done. Now they got to be careful, though, because they're getting shot at from the Overwatch positions back here. They brought a vehicle up. That is the 50 cal on one of their Special Forces vehicles here. The Land Rover with the additional turrets. But that Green 4 position is going to be safe for the moment. Tank is completely backing off. The IFV came in, though. But it's still marauding around the edge here. Looking at the central sector here, Blue 4, looks like a majority of the garrison that went into this building got taken out by the adjacent garrison. So you see where they've basically been engaged and taken out. We see Wolfskind, though, making a move on the sector. I'm not sure if one person can capture the sector on their own. They should be able to at least knock it to neutral. And then Green 4, they still have a solid defense on this sector over here. We see them just kind of marauding. There's nothing for them to really do. Maybe the Blue 4 force that was over here, I think they're in this vehicle now. They'll come in and provide some assistance. We have Foxtrot 1 just sitting over here. They're a sniper team, but they're not really in any position to do any sniping, so little shrug on that. Hold on, Automod's being... I hit the wrong button. I am so sorry. Automod, I don't know what they added in the new year, but Automod's being very aggressive with people. We see that Green 4 is also cleaning things up. Helicopter just took a hit. We heard that little clang noise. Hey, Action, how you doing? Butt Pupper's still good. IFE, I hear shooting. All right, we have this drone. This has to be a Blue 4 drone because otherwise it would be swarming onto that IFE. So I think it's looking for infantry to smack. Might find one in Birdo there. Birdo's trying to engage it, though. That's a tree. So I think the drone team's just using it to scout the infantry rather than actually hit anybody. All right, here's Blue 4 now getting 2 people in. They're going to be able to take that sector. That's going to force Green 4 to leave these buildings and come and re-attack. But in terms of control here, 140 minutes remaining. I don't know, point-wise, unless Blue 4 are able to rally and properly attack and start holding positions, might be GG. Damn, Fancy, don't you just wish your opponent would just walk up in front of you? No way! No fucking way do you... No! Bro, you had the angle! What? What Looney Tunes bullshit? If I didn't catch that on video, no one would believe me. That's even Green 4 ground command. This, yeah. Oh my god. Naturally. Naturally. Yep. Of course that's going to happen. Let's see if the IFE catches him. It does. Ooh, excuse me. The funny thing is they do have AT, but if he stands up to use it... Bro. Oh, gosh darn it. There we go. Okay. It took the gunner a little longer than I would have liked, but he does eventually make the kill. Took him long enough. Oh my god. So sorry about that. I don't know why I have winter allergies, but they suck. Depso still crawling around here as a marksman. Blue 4, what's confusing me here is the zone is being taken, but they're not in the zone. So why is the zone being taken by Blue 4 when they're not in the, like, what? That confuses me. Oh, now the IFE. Wow, okay, that is a massive range to be engaging from, but all right. So Green 4, they've dismounted a good chunk of forces here from the garrisons. They're going to have to come in and recapture this spot. I don't understand how Blue 4 was able to capture this because they weren't in the zone, but it is what it is. Red arrow action at, thank you. He gets dropped by Pio, who does have a marksman rifle, and he did see multiple Green 4 move around that spot, so he's got a good angle on these guys. You see this garrison is also breaking down. They're going to move in. Wombat's next to this building. Is he going to put a satchel? I don't think a charge is going to do it. He needs a satchel to take a building out like that. I like the idea, don't get me wrong, but he needs another thing of boom boom to actually take that building out. Got some additional Blue 4 coming in. They're going to start moving on the hospital, I think, because this is where Green 4 has a small garrison. Yeah, the trigger zone is bigger than the actual marked zone. Yeah, so that doesn't really do anything. Wombat gets spotted, and he's now getting suppressed. Satchel would have taken out that building for sure, but the explosive charge, it just doesn't have enough explosive power to do it. IFV got taken out. I assume one of these guys, yeah, so Pilot was able to take the AT from the dead player and then utilize it to take out that CRV. Have some Hunt IRs going up as well. Tank is now slowly coming back in. We see a downed Green 4 guy over here. He's still up. My question is, did the sniper team pick him off, or did he just arma himself somehow? Could have been anything. These guys are a pretty competent group. This is an AT team, though, and we do have Iander with them. But they're not going to be able to find anything because Green 4 just hasn't really fielded a lot of vehicles. And the ones they have been, like the one they did, got intercepted, so... That's allowed Green 4 to put all their stuff into infantry, and, I mean, you can see the results here. They've gotten a majority of it. Depso gets 2-tapped because he was prone. Manages to get a knockout, but that was it. Rizbo up. He's going to load GLs. If he can get a GL shot on him, that would be huge, but he misses it. If he got it in the middle of all three of them, though, that would have pretty much wiped him. Green 4 moving back. Blue 4 starting to send some infantry from various angles to try to counterattack that position. With the tank support, I think they'll be able to take it. Because the tank's just going to prioritize whatever garrison has a majority of forces there and just blow them away. Little bit of green on green here, though. So ground command was knocked out. And Calm is getting shot as well. Bursty notices. Yeah, they're still shooting at him. Now, yeah, now they're holding fire because they see more friendlies around it, and they're like, wait a minute. That's weird. It wouldn't be a PvP fight without a little bit of friendly fire. West here gets caught out by 2 troops. They don't know his exact position, though. He tosses a frag. They toss a frag. His, yep, head first. The bush didn't protect him enough. Ouch. Now we do have Meown coming around, Gates throwing another close charge. That's a satchel. He threw a satchel at him. Wow. Meown coming around. He's going to catch Riley on the rear. Double tap. He opts not to push the corner. If he suspected something, he should have grenaded and then pulled around. That's fine. No double tapping, though, means Riley could wake back up, but I see what he's doing. He's now trying to bait them to go around the corner. He's going to catch him dragging. Doesn't get the kill. He hesitates and then gets mag dumped. Oh, that's so frustrating to see. When you do everything right, but then you're like, Meanwhile, the real winner just holds the trigger down once and keeps the recoil fine. What are you doing? Ah, I see. You got pushed into the building. Green 4 gets multiple people wiped by one pesky machine gunner. 8 kills for Rector here. Bro retreats to another window knowing he's taken way too much heat on that position. This man has a kill zone. Holy shit. Hey, at this rate, he might go for the Audrey Hotto record if Green 4 will be nice enough to continue to come into the same kill zone for him. That's even funnier. From outside the window, you can see his texture gets bugged through the glass, so you can easily see when he's watching. Green 4 sent up some QRF up here. Did Rizbo get all those kills? I think he did. It's not counted, though, but... Huh. Emil now firing. Tomer gets the GL. It didn't look like it penetrated, but it still penned a little bit and got him. AT comes up to this building, gets no kills. Yeah, right, Audrey Hotto. All right, Rector's good with guns, not grenades. That's his weakness. So looking at the low areas, trying to check the windows. Tomer knows where to look, though. He can see that little bit of glitching texture right there, though. Guy runs out in the kill zone. Survives, though, because Rector gets suppressed by Tomer. But no Green 4 going for the zone just yet. With how they've done the points, though, it's really hard for me to tell who's winning. That's a 4-digit number, though, and this one's still a 3-digit, so. Meanwhile, looking over here, Green 4 have a majority of forces out of the sector. Blue 4 starting to send a few guys from the ridge to counterattack it. They might be able to get it. Colin popping in a fresh mag. He's going to get right behind these guys. Hey, 2 for 1. I mean, that ain't bad. That position is going to be the hardest for Green 4 to reinforce, so that's just a matter of attrition. Meanwhile, we have another knockout over here. I don't know if he's just getting sniped or what, but yeah, you still have people for Blue 4 all the way back here. Azariah has gotten a kill. He might have killed that one pilot that was snooping around. But beyond that, I don't know. Now Blue 4 are making a move on recapturing this sector. If Blue 4 can maintain at least 2 sectors for a majority of the game, they can still bounce back and win it. Green 4 have a slight point advantage so far, but that can be changed. Another Green 4 group has been deployed all the way back here. It's going to take them a little while, but they can set up some ambushes on that road. And you still see Blue 4 trying to harass the helicopters. Green 4 still have the manpower to get this zone, though.
Hi at Lance Corporal _ Liru in chat.
Hey, Ghost Wolf buddy, how you doing? Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for the 38-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this one. Rector here at 9. Will he catch Tomer? He does at the last second. I cannot believe he literally got all these kills, though. That blows my mind. They're breaching his building. He knows. Quickly checking his inventory. Drops a few empty or near empty mags. Maybe to repack later, but right now he's got to focus on minimizing his weight and just keeping his stability. Honestly, I see him losing the fight here to Guy. Guy already got knocked out, though, so his pain tolerance is going to be lower, so less shots. But on a 2v1 where the second guy has the machine gun and the shooter is going to be focusing on the first guy first, I think they're going to out-DPS Rector. That being said, Rector's on 9 freaking kills, so he might know. Somehow only his leg gets hit. I'm really surprised Tomer isn't dead. He should be. Bit weird. Got some Blue 4 over here getting shot. Blue 4 are retaking that first sector. Green 4 now kind of caught in this open area. They're at where Blue 4 was originally. We've got 2 tank assets now engaging each other. I think the Abram's gotten 2 solid hits on this tank so far. It's another hit on the track. Nope, that was a miss. Bushes are obfuscating lines a little bit. Another hit, we heard that impact. Hey, look, DeFrost survived! Woo! It's a win for the U.S. Wait, is that a drone? Oh, it'd be really funny if the drone just came down and hit him. I don't think it's going to. Drones in PvP, I don't know why in Wargames, they seem to be very useless or they're used for scouting or something, but my god. I have no words. I have 0 words. Audrey Sip now counterattacking this position. Seen some long-range rounds going around here. Rector still holding off against Guy and Tomer there. Let's go ahead and look at Sector 1's fight, though. Audrey Sip trying to bait Blue 4 to come in and hit him, not realizing that these guys are just focusing on defensive right now. Nick gets a kill. Oreo was shooting at Bursty. Which Arma game would I recommend for sniping in PvP? Probably Reforger right now, to be honest. Reforger is a lot more plug and play right now. You can easily get on a server, find some game mode that suits that fancy, and yeah, just have a ton of fun. If you want a little more sitting around or one lifestyle stuff where there's bigger adrenaline, like more octane, I'd say there's still plenty of PvP communities in Arma 3 that can offer that. But if you want something that's more, you know, like drop in, plug and play, similar to Battlefield or something, I would say Reforger. If you want realism, I'd go back to Arma 3 though, because you can do a lot more realism stuff with 3 compared to Reforger at the moment. Anyway, beautiful play by Audrey Sip. Doesn't get the double tap on Semper. Went a little too quick on that, but he manages to wipe those guys, and now the sector is going to flip back to green, which somehow Semper wakes back up. And now Audrey Sip's paying for it. And that sector is now going to flip back to blue. Yes, I was supposed to do DayZ last night. Bloodwing wanted to watch Fallout, and I completely lost track of time. That's on me. We'll start next week. My bad. So, the thing about Arma 3 PvP is you could probably find a lot of King of the Hill servers pretty easy, and they're still like up to triple-digit numbers every day, I'd say. Especially around peak times. Yeah, so King of the Hill is still going to be active. If you want event-style gameplay, there's a few Discords you can jump into. FNF, OFCRA... some of the Russian places like, God, I'm blanking on them. WOG, Weekly Open Games, and what's the other big one? I'm blanking on them. Solitude, that's it. But again, if you want easier, like, if you want something that's easier to jump into, I'd say Reforger's probably your angle then. All right, so it looks like Guy was able to move up and knock Rector out, but Rector got up to 10 kills because I think he got Tomer. The question is, will Rector wake back up? Not with those double tap rounds, but I've seen crazier. He's pre-firing the corners, too. It would be funny as hell if he woke back up and took him out, but I think he's down for the count. If you ever get caught on physics, that's how you know they're still alive and you have to double tap them. I really want to see him wake back up, but if he hasn't yet, then he probably isn't. Yeah, he dies. All right. You see him ragdoll again, that means he is down for the count. All right, Blue 4 retaking that position. Green 4 only have some stragglers around, but Blue 4 is mounting up a large counter-attacking force. We did have a Green 4 force over here, but they're now going to try to set up to camp vehicles, but we have Blue 4 using the other route to bring those in. Green 4, however, have a majority going into the central sector, so they're still going to be up 2 out of the 3 sectors here. But yeah, if you guys have any other armor questions, feel free to ask. I do not mind answering them. Nick was able to beat out Bursty here for control of this tower. Nick hasn't double tapped him yet, though. And he might be about to pay for it. Most of his shots got caught right there. I think the grenade went out the window. No, it went back down. And Bursty kills himself with his own grenade. Classic. Green 4 are trading shots with Dark Blue on the back there. You still have Baker alive in this building, but he is going to be holding the corner instead of trying to push out and counterattack. Oh, they even have the signs for Wargames up there too. That's cute. Green 4 aren't immediately vaulting in. Nope, I stand corrected. Mike's running in. Probably sees Brand's body. I'm hearing another vehicle cook off. That is potentially a Green 4 tank that came in. Nope, it is their SOCOM Humvee. It got sniped, quite possibly by Iander. He got an aircraft kill. Oh. Oh, no. Oh. Of course he did. So a big reinforcement wave of Green 4 was just taken out by an LZ snipe. And of course it's done by Iander. Hey, Auntie, Happy New Year. Hope everything's going well with you. Always a pleasure to see you. Aye, aye, aye. All right, Blue 4 are going to retake Sector 1. Sector 3 back in Green 4's, excuse me, hands. Ah, yes, the impenetrable door. Swola opts to open the door. Smoke goes out. Catches him as he tries to pull a frag and gets taken out. Gotta remember, when you're prone, you put your head first, and if your head gets hit, then you are immediately killed. Always better to be standing or crouching, because then your center of mass goes to your torso, and that has the vest that you're wearing, which is a lot less likely to get you killed because the plates will protect you. Bot here coming in, trying to exchange marksman fire with multiple people picking him off. One gets a headshot on him, he goes down. So Green 4 have lost their majority on Sector 1 here, Blue 4 retaking it. But with that reinforcement wave getting sniped, Jesse harassing this garrison to see if there's anyone here. We could see an upset now. Blue 4 could take a big force and go and try to take Sector 5 or move into 3 instead. I don't think Sergio has the prowess to snipe Jesse out of the helicopter with that 50 cal, but it would be cool. Blue 4 sending a reinforcement wave over to the north. This might be the same group that's been marauding around this area this entire time, but they might now try to come in and take that sector. Again, Blue 4 need to get a sector majority for the rest of the game to have a chance at winning, because Green 4 have a massive point advantage here. This is at 2,500 points. This is at 676 compared to 1,200 for the middle. And then left side, this was at 1,100. Blue 4 is at 1,300. So there's at least a 2,000 point difference between the two. Oh, can we see these guys bounce back? More explosions going off. Looks like they were just taking out one of the Green 4 guys here. Gazog now under fire. My tracers are breaking, so let me refresh those commands real quick. But yeah, majority of Green 4 in the deeper parts of what's considered Blue 4's territory getting taken out. But for the rest of this game, this is pretty important to note. Blue 4 have really good overwatch control on Green 4's positions to come in. We have a majority of bodies over here. Blue 4 could definitely bounce back if they get another LZ snipe or if they engage another group of Green 4 coming in. And Blue 4 could slowly out-attrition Green 4 at that point, retake 2 or even 3 sectors, and still win this fight. It's definitely a comeback, but it is possible. And I'd love to see it. Because it feeds back into what I was saying early on. The issue with Green 4 now is they've allowed Blue 4 to get into positions to basically prevent them from fielding reinforcements in, and they've been getting incredibly risky with their deployments without actually putting anybody in the sectors themselves to control. That's how Blue 4 are able to retake this sector, and for a while hold the central sector. Little bit of Overwatch fallacy, aka when you have too many people on Overwatch positions rather than the actual objectives themselves. You saw that with Green 4 with the majority of people in these large buildings rather than anyone around the site itself. Over here, we saw them kind of fan out instead of sticking around the sector and off of their Ridge Overwatch position to instead try to hunt Blue 4 down, and that cost them the area. You see this Blue 4 6-man squad coming in to push that position there. Blue 4 in the middle, I mean, they don't have the number advantage, but they could bring things over. But this is all dependent on if they can continue to engage and eliminate Green 4 as they bring reinforcements in. Could go either way. But you see that Blue 4 have a really nice network here of positions, and they're able to track where vehicles come in on. So I think Blue 4 still have a very solid chance to bounce back, but Green 4, if they can just get their reinforcements in, I think it could go either way. Who's our lone survivor here? Birdo. How many kills does Birdo have? None. Okay. Got a few more Blue 4 guys getting knocked out. Green 4 still have some guys in the previous sectors, but now they've got a more even distribution of forces for what they have at least. And then Blue 4 only have like 5 guys in the zone. Yeah, so this final part is where they're going to flood the engine and get the tank disabled. It's too deep right there. I appreciate what they're trying to do with that position, but it's not going to work. And even if it does, that means they're going to go in with the damaged engine, which means one shot from an enemy is going to knock the vehicle out. Damn. So I gotta wonder, was that Green 4 AT or a... Is that you? This is a Blue 4 vehicle, though. Huh? There's no Green 4 armor. Unless one of these guys did something, but they're a sniper team. That's weird. I think they just friendly fired, and the only reason they have a positive kill count is because they've taken out other vehicles and members. But that's really weird. So he gets blown away. These guys got wiped trying to come up here and loot stuff. Gotta remember, it's 3 life, though. Yeah, I have no idea. That was weird. All right, I got Jesse leading the fight here. Jesse, even though he's commanding, he is a very aggressive player. However, his aggression might be at the best of him as Alex looks at him. He gets knocked prone, and Alex takes him out. Jesse well ahead of his additional forces there, so that's only going to aggro this AO. Little over-aggressive, buddy. Still got these guys up here following the train track. A little bit of Green 4 on this ridge here, counter-attacking potentially. Still have that northern group as well. They're the ones that landed all the way back here and came around. Honestly, for Blue 4 to potentially get back on the board here, this fight has to succeed, because if it doesn't, I think Blue 4 only going to get one more chance to potentially even up the scoreboard for the sectors, and if they don't, then it's GG. I think traditional rules still apply for FNF. If you fully wipe your opponent, you win by default, but with 3 lives, that is incredibly difficult to do. That sniper team might just follow that off-road in. Ooh, pilot gets sniped. She's going down. Some of these guys are on their last life, though. Yeah, we're only about an hour in, and some people are already on their last lives. Ooh. So over the next 30 minutes, you're going to start seeing attrition take place here. Blue 4 tank pushing up, realizing it's a bit on its own. Is he going to try to get behind it and put a charge on it? That would be incredibly amazing if he does. Nope, he's going to hold instead. With armored support, I think Blue 4 will be able to take the zone. You definitely see them running out of it, and it is being captured because, you know, you got people in the zone versus out of. These guys are also potentially a sniper team, which means they don't even have any AT, so... I expect to see a Green 4 counterattack after the zone changes hands. But yeah, with Green 4 over here doing some minor harassment. We're going to see 2 sectors to blue, 1 to green. Green's going to maintain control in the middle because it looks like they got a reinforcement wave in there. Got a few guys now moving up to the hilltop that Blue 4's controlling. That's part of their Overwatch grid. And then you still got these 2 guys up here, which is a sniper team. Azurai on 2 kills. He needs to get a little higher with that, but Nemesis overwatching for him. Might be able to catch some of Charlie driving up, but we'll have to see. That LZ snipe by Iander definitely disrupted some of Green 4's potential here, but I don't think it's enough to change the game on its own. Okay, Blue 4 have some really good hidden positions up here, though. Like, even if they look at them directly, it would be tough to find them. What radio talk is going on? It is impossible for me to know. Only 3 players out of the round 140, 150 are, like, down for the count. All right. That number's going to start going up, though. I think most of these Green 4 guys are still on their first life, though, because they were part of the original garrison that stayed here, so they'll be able to get reinserted pretty easily. So the tank is just blowing away positions that haven't been cleared by Blue 4 yet, but they now officially have control of the zone. Yes, yes, someone's already brought up that we might do a Venezuela op. I might run it Monday. We actually do have some open slots on Monday, so screw it. We'll run it Monday. Which means I'll have to run 2 ops on Monday, because there's another thing I've been wanting to do for at least a week, and we're going to run it then. So we'll have a serious op and a meme op on Monday. Back to back. Yeah, Mal, that's on me. I need to... There was a TFAR plugin that used to work. It doesn't because it got depreciated, but it allows me to basically scroll in and hear their local comms. I would really appreciate if someone got that working again. But Blue 4 have control. Green 4 pushed away because of the armored support. So, looks like one of the Blue 4 guys got taken out, but they took out one of the 2 Green 4 aggressors. If this man CQCs with a Barrett 50 and actually gets a kill, not even both, just 1 kill, I will be impressed. But the Venezuelan op, I mean... I could look into, like, details of what they did, but I'm assuming it was airstrikes came in, took things out. Multiple helicopters came in, landed at specific areas. We didn't make that happen with unit capture. Units come out, take out some guards, grab 2 people, go to an LZ, extract, yada-da. If they're arresting him, they're probably going to be grabbing intel in the palace as well. That can extend the op from, like, you know, a 30-minute to a 45-minute. Simple as. Oh, 1 guy medicing, 1 guy in security. Even though he's dead, it's commendable that they try to medic him up. But yeah, I haven't heard shit about it, but if, based off of everything I've seen and what I've had to recreate over, God, almost 10 years of doing Zeus missions, that would be my guess on what was done. Hold up, wait, he might catch Cyrus. Ah, Cyrus backs off. I'd say the odds of Sergio actually getting a kill would be 10 to 1. But you never know. Sergio might be smart here, might pop some grenades, might get very lucky with his CQC shot. Oh, don't put me as a defense secretary. Look, what I've learned with the government is it bogs everything down, all right? Keep me independent. That way we can continue to do meme ops. Still waiting on Winnie the Pooh to be added to Arma 3 so I can do some Chinese ops. Wink. All right, that'll take a second. You got Green 4 trying to do a counterattack, but Blue 4 have taken that SOCOM Humvee that was laying around and now are engaging them as they come in. All right, he's not doing much. We got to go back to the action. Blue 4's vehicles, though, are on flanking areas here. They're going to be trying to thin out any QRF that comes in. AT just tried to come in. If it made a hit, it would have cooked off this vehicle and killed Crestman. A lot of blind firing as they're fighting over this go-kart area. That is something crazy, though. Arma 3 have a bunch of maps with go-kart areas, and you can just PvP in a go-kart arena if you really wanted to. Super niche, but it's a thing. And I'm not against it. All right, Green 4 tried that attack with that force, but they're already whittled down to 2 people because they had all this open area they had to cross through. Blue 4 have really good defensive positions. They're basically down for the count. Blue 4, meanwhile, still trying to assault that central sector, but not looking too good. Sergio still maneuvering around, trying to make a move here. Cyrus playing dead. Oh, I think he just spotted Sergio for a second. He pulls away. Now one of those CVs have come up. Blue 4 knocking out some of the fences to try to counterattack a little bit. They got to be careful because Green 4 trying to send some additional forces on a different angle. Uh-oh. Will a Finnish M72, though? No, wait, that is one of their textures. Okay, my bad. Will a US M72 be able to knock out a Finnish main battle tank? Maybe. But there's also a good chance it won't do anything because it's too small of a warhead and the tank is too armored. Green 4, meanwhile, they have a guy in the zone. They're trying to retake this. You got the miniguns randomly firing down on the ground over there. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a good try, but I will be thoroughly impressed if they actually cook it off. Riley gets knocked out, but the shooter also gets killed. Green 4, though, they're sneaking that force around the sector is more important than the kills. There's the shot. Vehicle immediately starts driving away. The crater's right here, so it might have also just missed. Which would be funny. More AT goes in, but that was in the crew compartment in the rear, so minimal damage. Uh-oh. Oh, bro just made the wrong turn. And the tank doesn't seem to notice. If anything, it's now engaging with the tank back here, so if these guys have AT, they can just get behind it and take it out. 2 tanks engaging. Oddball, do you have a charge? I don't think he does. But that Abrams just got 2v1'd and immediately taken out. I don't want to see it for gameplay reasons, but I want to see it for meme reasons. He takes out the spare track, shoves the spare track in the vehicle, and destroys it. Massive Green 4 infantry wave coming in. Looks like the IFV that Blue 4 was fielding also got taken out. Green 4 finally found some workable AT and was able to get a front hit on it to cook it off. They're now checking for any dismounts, but they're not going to find any. Rosters are still strong on both sides. We see quite a few people on that second marker right there, which means they're on their last third life. So like I said earlier, we're going to start seeing those numbers diminish on both sides. So whoever has whatever deployment is going to more than likely win if they have the advantage. AKA, Green 4 having 2 sectors is going to probably win them the game here. They already have the point advantage because they had control of all 3 earlier. So some grenades going in. They know they're getting bottlenecked right here, but they want to keep that Overwatch position. Cressman being very aggressive here. Bot catches him. Once again, my tracers are being a bit silly. Cressman gets double tapped by his own grenade, funny enough, or his team's own grenade. Green 4 sending some counter-attacking forces from the south. We have an additional Humvee coming in. It's only 2 guys, but they're doing their best to reinsert. Helicopter, I think, dodged a tank round and was able to deploy its reinforcements. But it looks like one of them got killed off by that tank. And you see another helicopter pilot that went down over here. That was Defoe. So, wait, no, he was part of the tank crew. My bad, he just doesn't respawn yet. I could have sworn I also saw him in tanks earlier, too, though. But a lot of helicopter sniping today. Not a bad thing. Always fun to see. It's probably another downed helicopter over here. Though it looks like the texture despawned. So who knows? Snickers climbing up this building. He's trying to find some of the Green 4 guys defending it. But they're holding. And I assume the disconnects you're seeing are probably some of the people that have lost their last life and they're giving up for the day. Number-wise, I mean, scrolling out seems even right now. It's just up to sector control. But again, Blue 4 have a lot of guys on Overwatch and on one sector, but not a lot attacking the other 2. Which is annoying, because they just took Sector 5, but immediately lost it a few moments later. I think the infantry got a little too aggressive, didn't want to play defense, and then they, like, thinned themselves out, throwing themselves at the Green 4 QRF that came in. So now you got the armor just kind of marauding around here. But otherwise not doing much. Just curious, playing favoritism. Azariah still only on 2 kills. I think if they moved in a bit closer and started thinning people out on the actual objectives, he'd see a higher kill count. But I also know Scandi Recon players like to play very aggressively, but also at range when they have their snipers. That was a Moz round that just went in on the tank. But she backs away. Another round came in and there was an explosion. A Green 4 reinforcing truck gets blown up. A few guys get taken out. I think that was by Stallard. That's the only Blue 4 guy that was close enough to make it. He has the angle. That was a 680-meter shot. Not bad. Carl Gustav's max range is about 1,000, so not bad, not bad. Now you got this Humvee driving in. It's part of one of the rifle squads, but will the tank... Uh-oh. Wait, no, it ricocheted off. You saw it bend. How did a Humvee ricochet a tank round? Huh? The tank knows better, though. I think it just went through the windshields. Huh? What perfect block bullshit is this? 3 for 3, Mr. Tank. Come on. Oh, my God. The Humvee might have gotten away from it. Damn, the freaking Lockheed Martin engineers already designed a Humvee that can block tank rounds. Okay, gotta give it to them. They work quick. It only took them an hour. Ay, ay, ay. Sablon comes up, gets a kill and a knockout. He gets taken out himself. Gage trying to breach Wojtek's building. Great grenade throw. And then he crawls away so he doesn't die, and that double tap also gets him in case he lost it. Funny as hell. .50 cal actually gets a knockout on one of the guys in the Green 4 garrison here. That was Ash. Takes some return fire. It's a little high. Blue 4 now mounting up some forces and are intending to drive him out. Which is better, Arma 3 or Arma Reforger? If you like PvP and you want to do quick playing and you don't like King of the Hill, I'd say Reforger. If you're looking for a better PvE experience with more versatility and more diversity, Arma 3. Simple as that. If you're looking for something that's easier to set up and much more plug-and-play friendly, where you can just get on and do something, Arma Reforger. If you're one of those types of players that likes to spend time trying to figure out where they want to go and where they want to invest their time in, like, you know, Minecraft servers, you're trying to find a good one, or a Gary's Mod server, or something similar, Arma 3. It really just depends on what you define is better in your own metrics. But I play both. I stream more of 3 because there's more for me to stream in that compared to Reforger. But Reforger is definitely the hotter thing on the internet right now for the YouTube algorithm, all that crazy bullshit. So it is what it is. All right, Blue 4 have a strike team over here. They could take this sector back because Green 4 is lacking on actual sector control again. So this could be where Blue 4 tries to take things back. They also have Bates over here. If he beats Meow, he could take the sector on his own as well. We could see all 3 sectors shift back to Blue 4 control. But Green 4 definitely have more forces in the zone to Blue 4 at the moment, but that could change on a dime. So I think Emil knows Oddball came in here, so he's just trying to find an angle on him. Oh. Little desync spike there, but Emil gets spotted and is taken out, and that was his last life because his character just came up. That was a shot by, I think, Bot, who gives some double tapping shots. When you see the debug NATO or AAF character come up next to him, it means they're out of lives. That's just a little debug thing that happens. Because it's them getting shifted over to, I think, a spectator screen. So the tank is shooting out these AT mines here and blowing them up so it can cross. Now you're going to potentially see Blue 4 vehicles get a little more aggressive into the town here. Bates has the sector under control. You can see it ticking up. We just need to see this team transition into that sector there. And then Blue 4, if they can maintain all 3 sectors for the rest of the game, they could do it. But Green 4, we're going to see a counter-attacking force come in. There's no additional Blue 4 here to support. I doubt Bates can do it. But, Audrey Hutto, you're in chat, buddy. You can type it out if you want to. Hearing some more distant explosions over here. Hard to know if they're mines or just vehicle cook-off. Hey, Axel, thanks for the 44-month resub, buddy. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Wee, I haven't heard that one before. No, Audrey Hutto, you got to do your line. That I always do. You can cast or curse him. Motorcycle coming in for QRF. That's cute. Oh, yeah, you got the knocked over trees from the tank fight. Or not tank fight, but the tank just being a tank earlier. Scrolling out, though. All right, so you got a big chunk of Blue 4 infantry out here that need to be deployed. But I think Green 4 have more numbers than Blue 4 at the moment. That might just be bias of I see more, like, Green 4 in some solid groups. Blue 4 more spread out. Actually, no. Looking at it again, it's a little more even, but Blue 4, again, have way too many people on Overwatch duties or defensive jobs when they need to be focusing on the other areas. Green 4, though, we're going to see a counterattack there. Blue 4, we need to see these guys push into the sector because time's a ticking. Yes, Audrey Hutto, there it is. All right. Bates, all he needs to do is just hold this area here. Wait to see the thing start getting ticked, and then if he has grenades and he has a good rough idea of where his opponents are, use grenades, try to take out as many as he can, but he needs some additional backup to come in here. He said the thing. Yes, he did. We got Audrey Hutto to say the Audrey Hutto thing. I think that's only happened one other time, if at all. I do agree, Malin. It is nice to see where the wrecks pile up. And you can use that to your advantage in some areas, like to block the tunnel, but I don't know. Again, a lot of the early on ambushes just didn't pan out. It was weird that they didn't pan out. Just a lot of user error, unforced errors, whatever you want to call it. So you got Green 4 all the way from back here firing on Blue 4 positions. That's just going to keep them pinned, and they're not going to move to the sector. Speaking of just being pinned and not moving to the sector, minus the pinning, these guys are just staying on the outside. Scenario background, Green 4 is US, Blue 4 is Finnish. And so far, Green 4 is winning. That could turn around. But Green 4 have more points because they've had control of a majority of the sectors for longer than Blue 4. Blue 4 currently have majority control, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. Blue 4 still need to have control of all 3 sectors. But look at this. This is what I was talking about earlier with vehicle Overwatch. We did see some AT fire in. There's a second tank now also shooting. And they are just unloading HE rounds on this ridge. Gotta be careful because a lot of these guys are also on their last life as well. So once these guys are dead, they're dead for the majority, if not the entirety of the game. AT round also coming in back here. That could have been Blue 4 firing some as a shock weapon. But now with this big chunk of Green 4 infantry pinned outside the AO, it's going to be less guns in the actual AO for them to fight with. More AT coming in. The bridges, I don't believe, are destroyable. You'll specify baits to stop the server from imploding. They can't destroy that tank at this range. They need a Moz gunner to do it. The thing is, I'm not sure they have a Moz gunner here that's alive to do it. If I'd have a bet, I'd say it's Iander somewhere. Sniping at him. It could also be Whiplash. Oh, it's Cats doing it. Okay, that's why they're missing. AT round came in. So they're quickly getting to cover. I only see 2 bodies. Oh, there's a third. There's a fourth. Yep, there's the collective casualties. All right. That's going to keep them pinned outside of the AO for a little while. Green Force still have not moved into the sector here. Now, that's a 4,500 mark to a 346. Then you have 676 to 2,200. And then you got 3,100 to 1,100. So there's still a 2,000 plus point difference here. That's why Green 4 or Blue 4 need to take control of all 3 sectors as soon as they can. Otherwise, they're not going to win. This garrison moving away. They're even getting friendly fired here by Martin. And then that 3-man team that came up is either has moved north or they have no interest in the sector itself. So Blue 4 shooting themselves in the foot here by not just pushing in and taking that final area. So Blue 4 might lose this to Overwatch fallacy. And if the game's close, it's because no one just came in and took the central sector. All right, we're finally starting to see some Green 4 moving into the zone. We do have a friendly tank coming in, though, so it could assist in taking this area. We have 82 minutes remaining. Still having some long-range AT rounds going off. A little worried when I see a friendly AT guy looking in the direction of a friendly vehicle. I think they're just trying to confirm its PID. But if I hear it cook off later, then we'll know why. Just going to do a count. So 3,200 plus 600. That's 3,800. So they've got about 4,200 points. Oh, Bates gets spotted. One of the Green 4 guys got taken out, though. If the tank could come up and help him, that'd be really cool, but Bates is being forced into the open. Meanwhile, the Green 4 is 4,500. I mean, that alone. Plus another, I think that's a 2. Hard to say. No, that might be a... There's a little thing back there, so that's a 3. Bates gets taken out. So 4,000 plus 3,000 plus 1,000. That's around, 8,500. So Green 4 essentially have doubled its points Blue 4 has. So Blue 4, again, need to have control of all 3 zones to tick back. Because every point is a second of control. So what's 4,000 divided by 60? Why can't I do math in my head right now? Little ambush by some Green 4, getting some of the Blue 4 Overwatch guys out. Dream gets knocked. Lars checking the body. Hearing more AT rounds going off. 66.6 minutes. Divide that by 3. That is about 22.2 minutes of control, but Green 4 has to have control of all 3 sectors for that amount of time. Still possible. We're at the 79-minute mark. But then Green 4 or Blue 4 need to control all 3 sectors for that. They just lost this sector. So that if Green 4 have the sector majority, that ratio is just going to get higher and higher. So Blue 4 need to be aggressive on the sectors at this point, and they might not do that because they're still doing a lot of Overwatch. Which I think it was great for taking out a lot of Green 4 guys coming in and whittling their lives down, but now we need to see some very aggressive actions on the sectors themselves so Blue 4 can guarantee a victory. Auntie, if I make a 10-year anniversary, will you actually show up, though? That's the question. I haven't seen you in years. All right, there's my tracers back on. So we see them now harassing some of the Green 4 guys in cover and concealment. They're blind firing, though. You don't get points for prisoners. You just got to take everybody out. I know, Auntie, I know. Tank just harassing that infantry, though, instead of finishing them off. Jesse sideswiping with that helicopter. Alright, that IFE is back here now. And the tank's just driving in. NASA, I think, just got a kill on somebody in the garrison. Blue 4 has multiple knockouts on the outskirts here because of the Green 4 garrisons. I don't want to call GG just yet, but if Blue 4 can't get manpower into the zones, it's over. And it just shows a lack of Blue 4 wanting to actually push into the zone here. And a lack of coordination of, okay, we know that we're taking fire from buildings X, Y, and Z. Bring the tank over and let's just, you know, hit the building with a massive amount of HE until it collapses, and then boom. No more issue to worry about. More Blue 4 getting taken out on Overwatch. This might actually do Blue 4 a favor because it's going to force more Blue 4 to actually push into the sector and take them. So, that could be a thing. Now you got the IFE checking where the reported infantry were. And you're hearing the gunfire in the distance here. Yeah, no, Fawns definitely went more heavy on the infantry, and that has paid off for actually taking the sectors. Now you got the vehicles harassing, but... Oh, buddy. You... Finish him! I'm going to be honest, we're not seeing the brightest vehicle crews, though, for Blue 4. That's a tow launcher, and it missed. Got Lolo up here with the tow. He's trying to Overwatch to take out vehicles. It's another launch. Guidance gets lost in the trees. Now we got an Abrams over here. It looks like it's shooting at some... Nope, it's shooting at some of the infantry down below. Probably some of the Blue 4 ones. Stallard walking up to this kill zone here. Tank could snipe him. That'd be funny if the tank did snipe him. Yeah, they don't really have the best angle up there. Let me RC something else. So we stop hearing the buzz. All right, Blue 4, massive infantry deployment on this zone with a Land Rover. Great call here. This is exactly what they need to do. They need to do it to Sector 3 as well. Again, they need to, I think now mathematically it would be about 25 minutes they have to have control of all 3 zones. Steer gets taken out by a marksman. That was probably bot or Wojtek here at this angle. Oop, got stuck in the bush. Another knockout, and I'm trying to cycle my tracers because they just don't seem to want to work anymore. It's a machine gun firing off. Hard to say, we do have Basto and Swola in a CQC fight, but Swola wins it. And again, I think it's some players just getting a little too kill hungry, because Blue 4 should have had this position dead to rights already, but oh well. The main fight's going to be for this sector. Damn, they take Crestman out, and he gets knocked out on the net as well. Wow, all right, so now they're starting to utilize the drones. Blue 4 have majority control. Looks like Waj and his battle buddy were taken out, possibly by a grenade. More grenades being randomly thrown around. Green 4 trying to recapture. They do have the manpower to push in with, because the vehicles have just noped out of the zone. Plus, this Abrams was able to snipe another one. I just don't know where the tanks went, because Blue 4 had 2 fielded in this area. Now I just see the IFV. Malin, did you see what happened to the tanks? Because they're gone. Looking for fireballs or anything. We've got one out here that got destroyed, so quite possibly by the tow launcher. I think the tow might have gotten both. Looking at Lolo, he doesn't have any armor kills, though, so I don't know. And then they only have 1 armor kill here. Yeah, looking at the player list, this is where they got killed off, and then these guys are back at spawn. So it looks like they're not on any deaths, so I think they brought the vehicle back here to repair. Okay. Yeah, good call, Adriano. Good call. Bot comes in a 1v1 with Gates, and again, the tracers were working fine. I think it's this area specifically, just the tracers don't like to initialize. Yeah, because here they are working fine here. These 2 guys are suppressed. They're trying to return fire. Scrolling out there, just look at the amount of green 4 we have compared to blue 4. It's a pretty significant ratio. I think this is GG at this point. Looking at the roster, it's still pretty big on both sides, but green 4 have a majority of their forces playing infantry roles. Blue 4 have at least 10 infantry committed to vehicle roles, and that 10-man difference is significant here. Keep looking at this position. Major Khan hiding in this building. He knows there's other people moving around in it. That's why he's picked that spot. But again, a lack of urgency for any blue 4 to push into the zone. He's got other green 4 shooting at his building. So it's just 2 blue 4 defenders and then 1 further out. More green 4 coming in. Blue 4 sending another QRF wave, though. They want to maintain control of this sector. And some of these guys are only... Well, okay, some are on their 2nd life. Some are on their 3rd life. Damn, all right. Some of these guys haven't even died yet. One of them, at least. 2 of them. That is actually crazy that some green 4 guys here haven't even died yet. They're going to be absolutely critical for the final parts of this AO. All right, we can quickly look. So green 4 have 1 tank left. All the Bradleys are missing, which is weird. I haven't seen any Bradleys get used. So that's interesting. So, oh. Jesus fucking Christ, Liru. Anyway. Blue 4's vehicles. 2 tanks and 1 IFE remain. And that doesn't include what we see fielded. So green 4 have a tank right here. Blue 4 have an IFE and another tank. These guys here, the tank, they're staying right next to it, though. Just like, where did the Bradleys go? They can't be gone already. Oh, nope, they're right there. I'm just stupid. What else is new? Roy has a -1, which means he's killed a green 4 guy, so he's an honorary blue 4 member. And I think he's looking to even the score. His score, specifically. He's running up on Arkin. Gets faked out because I think that was Arkin's last life. Roy gets knocked out. This is his last life. He ends with an even scoreboard. And 3 deaths. But maybe Roy can wake up and kill McPhil. Is he gonna do it, though? Probably not. What are you firing at? Roy wakes back up. Wait a minute. And he gets put down. Bursty tried to come up on the rear. He gets knocked out. Green 4 have a majority number control in the zone, though, because of the 3 guys on the outskirts, because I think the capture zones are a little further out than what they actually are. Hold up, Bates coming in. He knows something's up in this tower. He's going to grenade it. He doesn't. All right, who has those Turtle Beach headset? Who has the Turtle Beach headset to be able to hear each other's footsteps? Damn. Hitbox galore right there. Bates coming up. Little bit of a mistake by Bates to, at this point, be looking forward instead of having his gun immediately looking up at that zone. But he was able to at least get 1 kill. Emperor, no deaths, 1 kill. That's pretty significant right now since we're at least halfway through the match. Actually, over halfway through the match. All right, final thoughts. Green 4 is going to maintain central control. Blue 4 do not have the numbers or the interest to take that zone. Green 4 might counterattack and take the open sector there. Here, though, number advantage is pretty significant. I think this is just going to be a solid Green 4 victory. I'm really surprised the tank didn't just snipe that helicopter. You. Okay. 11 and 11 infantry kills and an aircraft kill. All right. He might be looking to hit that tank. So with another wave of infantry landed south, they could go either way, but there were other LZs they could have taken that would have already been known to be secure because of Blue 4 coming in. That shows there's a little bit of miscommunication going on Blue 4's comms. It's Iander. Of course he's going to team kill someone. Yeah, I'm taking more shots, and I don't know if it penetrated the hay bale. It's a hay... Oh, yeah, no, we're seeing the tracers go through, so it penned and hit him in the head. Because that thing is literally just a hay bale. It's not going to block bullets. He team killed cats. Beautiful. That was one of Iander's battle buddy in his trio. Which, speaking of, I don't even see him in that trio anymore. Alright, Blue 4 unlikely to take this sector back, and even if they did, they'd have to have the control of it for at least 45 minutes to make up the point difference. But you're slowly seeing more and more disconnects wrap up because people are on their final lives and getting picked off. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see how Blue 4 can bounce back. Yeah, they've got more armored assets coming in and whatnot, but it's just not going to happen. We see an explosive satchel go off. We did see a Blue 4 body flash. We have a dead Green 4 member right here. So I think someone just satcheled the building and killed everybody. Which is pretty funny. Iander's still climbing this little ridge here to get up to that tank. I expect to see it disappear. It's just a solo crew, though, so that's an ouch. Little Bird dropping off some additional forces to move in on this zone. I think Jesse knows how significant this sector is. You got the IFE firing at this helicopter. It just can't seem to line up the angle, though. Killer J had a really good angle, but he just took multiple shots to the upper torso. Grenade does not get the bounce it needs to actually get into the compound, but he gets double tapped by his foot. And now Green 4 are losing the number advantage here. Blue 4 could bounce back. If they have control of these two zones and they hold it for the rest of the game, we could see a point difference arise enough to allow Blue 4 a victory, but it's gonna be close. Tank disabled. Defra has been knocked out. And he gets double tapped. That was his last life. That was Nemesis getting the shot there. I don't think Blue 4 can use the tank, but there is a tank there, and it is potentially usable.
Send in Goat Team 6.
If Miji, how you doing?
Happy
Happy
New Year to you.
New Year to you too as well, buddy. Thanks for the 34-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you... Okay. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. So we can see where a lot of Green 4's manpower was. And Mr. IFV decided that Green 4 doesn't need any more manpower here. This is what I was talking about earlier in the fight. If Blue 4 can field their vehicles to actually take out garrisons, that's all they need to do. 9 kills and then a negative vehicle kill. That's funny. Last guy there gets taken out. So Blue 4 will have majority control there. And you see the lack of Green 4 being respawned here, so... Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there. Other green 4 guy gets taken out. No, I think he ran. I think Alex ran. Now, here's the kicker. Blue 4 can still win this. I'll do the mathematical calculation in a moment, but they need to basically get that IFE, get infantry, move over, take this final zone, and then hold it. Let's do the point differentials, though. So we'll calculate green 4 first. So that's 1,100 plus 4,700. So that is 5,800 plus... Oh, blue 4 aren't even in this area yet, so they're not even taking control. Come on, guys. It's another 4,800, so I've already lost count. 48 plus 47 is 96 plus 1,100. That's 10,700. 500 plus 600, 1,100 plus 4,600 is 5,700. So that's what? 5,100 points, give or take. If they continue the 2-to-1, these one sector will offset the other, so that means one sector has to tick up 5,100 points to win. Now blue 4 have the sector because they also took out the last guy. So what's 5,100 divided by 60? Can someone do the math on that for me? Because I'm not going to be able to do it in my head right now. $85. So that's beyond the 56 minutes here. So 5,100 divided by 3 would be what? 28.3? So blue 4 mathematically have to take the final sector to have a chance at winning. Because even if they hold 2 out of the 3 sectors, the point divide between green 4 and blue 4 is so much that even if they were to hold it till the end of the game, they would lose. Because one sector is still cashing out points for green 4. That offsets one of the blue 4 sectors, which means only one of the sectors can make up the difference. So blue 4 for at least 28.3 minutes. And that number is slowly going to shrink because the point divide gets a little less and a little less because that sector's going. But they've got 55 minutes. They need to spend at least 25 of those minutes, so half of the time, taking the other sector. With how slow blue 4 has been moving in on this sector and instead opting to get sector control instead of actually coming in, big chance they're not going to do it. It's a good thing that the winner and loser is determined by who has most sectors at the end of the game. I thought it was based off of points. All right, well, the owner of FNF just one-upped me, so never mind. It's based off of sectors, not points. So these guys, I thought they were crossing each other, but now they're just going off-road. Malin, what does the point system exist for, then? Because there's no way you could have a tied game if you have an odd amount of sectors. So what are the points for? I'm going to strangle Nemesis. He's probably the one that came up with the idea then. Numbers-wise, though, we've got, what, 3, 6... 9, 13 green 4 in the zone, blue 4. $23 blue 4. So, well, 24. So blue 4 definitely have the number advantage here. Nah, I think Malon's just messing with me. Because what would the points be for then? I think he's trolling me. Alright, West's moving around. He's got a marksman rifle, bolt action. But he's got 2 blue 4 that are just holding this corner. Hold up, West might have, like, the 2 easiest kills he'll ever make. And as soon as he gets the firing angle, that's when the blue 4 guys decide to move. God, I love this. Got more green 4 guys now coming to check on these guys. Mike still has another life. What about Waldo? Waldo still has 2 lives. What? Well, one of them debugged, so one of them was on their last lives. The other one still has another, but that was... Okay. Bursty and Fawn's command rolls are on their last lives there. Ay, ay, ay. Well, at that point, it's GG for Blue 4 then. As in, they've won. Because there's no way that Green 4 has the manpower to retake one of the zones. They're just going to be... Well, okay, no. They might see... We might see a few of these guys branching out because they might be going for Sector 1. You also see Blue 4 firing at their own helicopter, which is funny because that's their own platoon commander. But again, we've already seen multiple instances of Blue 4 having communication issues. No, with the number advantage, there's no way Green 4 can do anything here. In 50 minutes, even if they do take one of the zones, it's going to be taken back. Because Blue 4, despite having funny friendly fire issues, they're definitely more coordinated. But maybe, just maybe, Green 4 can take a team of 5 and hold a sector for 50 minutes. The one issue they have going against them is Blue 4's fielding of vehicles, which... Wait, how is Breacher still playing if he has 3 deaths? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't know. Seems a little suspicious. Don't mind me, I'm just giving Malin shit. Do they knock over the corner pieces in the road? So if they take sufficient damage, they do that funny thing where they just knock over and float? Amazing. I don't know, I think Malin's biased here. Trying to give Blue 4 the victory. Another deployment of forces for Green 4. They could try to retake the other zone. You know, we see some forces immediately moving north here. That is command, though. So, Green 4 trying to now go for both other zones at the same time while keeping a skeleton crew to defend the middle sector. And we've seen Blue 4's lack of ability to take that zone, so this seems like a pretty solid strategy for Green 4. We could see a retake. But at that point, it's just going to rely on attrition. And so far, Blue 4 are doing a better job at keeping attrition down compared to Green 4. I'm going to just look at the player count here. You have less than a whole page. I can't scroll down anymore on these guys. Whereas Blue 4, we have about a page and a half. So it's a 2 to 3 ratio here in player count for Blue 4. Now, Blue 4 do have dedicated vehicle crews, so that's going to bring it up, but every kill is going to be important here. We got Killer J right here, who's an explosive specialist. And a literal tank. I do hear a drone. That could be a Crocus AT drone. Did they see Killer? Or did they hear the drone? They shouldn't have heard the drone. Something made them panic, or they just got new orders to come around to a different area. All right, Green 4, we see them still marauding around over here, but looks like they're sticking to the central area. I mean, another strategy Green 4 could do is stay in the buildings and just out-attrition their opponent. All right, looks like this vehicle was cooked off. One of them is taken out. The other two are making a run for it. I agree. Any vehicles that push in on their own, unsupported, are susceptible to being taken out by enemy AT. But for this long of an engagement, you got to wonder how much AT does Green 4 still have left. Clearly a good amount, though, because they were able just to snipe that vehicle. That was potentially Lolo getting that kill. And he takes a... That was a Mark 211 50 cal round. The way it broke apart on him like that. Yeah, Dream just sniped him. I'm surprised that didn't insta-kill him. That should have insta-killed him. That would have literally just cut him in half. He wakes back up. Oh my god. Nah, fam, I don't care what you're wearing. That round should literally just blow you in half. Regardless of your level of plates. Blue 4 have a pretty solid defense here. Bursty and Fawns are going to have to pull a Hail Mary to get that one. Or I dare say, channel there in a Rodriato. Meanwhile, you've got NASA getting the kill on that area, but a satchel goes off and takes NASA out. Dream's just going for blood at this point. Gets his 4th kill. Got West that's made his way all the way around here, but he does have some Blue 4 looking in his direction. I think these guys are just doing some far flank overwatch here to prevent any Green 4 from trying to do a big flank around here. Then you got these two guys. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, they might be drone operators. Yep. So we see the drone symbol is on them, so these guys are working the drones. Now, because I checked them, I can actually see all of Blue 4's drone deployment here, which is rare. Usually you don't see that. Yeah, so if I go first person on another guy. So it's interesting how it sticks on me now. So we'll do that again just so we can keep track of Blue 4's drones here. Dreams backed off. He got another kill with that 50 cal, though, so that's good. Yanni might be taking some long-range shots. Nope, it's just suppression shots on Dream's previous position. But yeah, if he just picks off whoever's remaining here, Blue 4 could finally have the gonads to come in and take that finals out. Erickson would be the closest to actually do it. Sure to GL immediately detonate, so I guess it accidentally hit a tree or something. Oh, these guys are mounting up. They're going to rush it. Does Coles have AT? I don't think so because he's a medic. What about Fancy here? No AT. That vehicle might be able to sneak in. It's got Masano following them as well. So that little fade out was showing that one of those guys, the guy that I went in the first person for, is actively now using this drone. We can see its current position with this plus. Wait a second! They armored themselves! They just killed themselves on the runway! And dashed any hope of victory for Green 4! We didn't hear the tank fire. It doesn't have the kills to reflect it. They just rammed into each other and killed themselves. That's GG. That was Green 4's last hope on taking a sector and being able to hold 2. The only other option is these two guys somehow beating out all this infantry up here. GG. I don't care if we still have 41 minutes. That was also a majority of Green 4's remaining infantry. GG. Damn. Unless Dream got his kill by killing the driver and making them like ram into each other. I doubt it. I didn't hear the sniper go off. Green 4 more like done for, yeah, right? How's Dream still alive? Because Green 4 are just holding garrisons. They're not actually interested in pushing out on him. Though, as I say that, we do have Foxtrot 1 out here looking for him. He's looking very snipeable, though. All we need to see Blue 4 do is either rally some forces. We do see these guys. They're coming over to get in this helicopter. They waterlogged one of the choppers. That's funny. They might land and try to actually take the central zone. A Leaf just saved Foxtrot 1 from Dream 2. That's funny. So they left some guys on defense. You got Pupper flying over. All right, 6 guys. That could very well be enough. Does Ash have AT, though? He does not. I think these two are just waiting for like the last few minutes to then try to charge in and take the sector. Because that's the only option they have. Or that helicopter's going to fly around and just set up defense on this area, and these guys are just going to show no interest in taking that middle sector. In which case, we'll just have a stalemate of forces, and it'll just be called GG earlier. Cal's shooting up at that little bird, but from this range, it's going to be incredibly difficult to hit it. Miniguns get Pupper to wave off a little bit. Surprised the tank didn't join in. Yep, so we're seeing people bleeding out here on the vehicles. It's their last life. Unless they're getting manually respawned, which could be a possibility. Yeah, they're on 4. Some of them are on 4 deaths, bro. You're telling me that they got Arma twice? It would be unironically at that point, but it is what it is. All right, long-range AT shot came in, detonated over here. Looks like that was just a miss. Maybe they were firing at one of the helicopters. Blue 4 deployed a squad all the way back here. Truthfully, I don't know why. Probably as far dismount for them to then go into Sector 1 and then hold that position. And you still have some Blue 4 stragglers moving around over here. Dream still looking around. Not a bad counter-sniping spot, or taking people out of garrisons. It would be better if we saw like an IFE or a tank come up on this ridge and start pounding those positions, but I'll stop beating that dead horse. Now we wait. Something exploded back there. Was that the tank cooking off? Yep. It might have just killed one of their own guys doing that, which is even funnier. Blue 4 making their move. It'll be a 2v1. Not that many green 4 and Overwatch positions to cover anymore. Dream's still up here. He gets hit once, doing some medical. But if he pulls enough attention away, he could allow for Blue 4 to sneak in and take that zone. A few more Blue 4 entering that zone as well. Charlie slowly coming in, but they're dragging their feet. Dream doesn't like this position, so he's moving. Someone's trying to snipe him from that spot, though, and I'm trying to find who. Are you a green 4 drone operator? Yes. Okay, so they have the darter, but I don't see any crocuses up. Interesting. All right, Stallard's made his way up here. Erickson still coming up as well. I get it when you're down there, you're on your own or maybe with one guy, you have no idea what's around you, you want to take it cautiously. It's just when we get to these really slow parts in the op. Look at this, green 4 now attempting with some additional forces that have come. It's also trying to retake this position. Because the other attack failed. They've only got... Well, they only had one guy. He gets hit by something explosive because we saw a bunch of smoke get kicked up. It's probably the tank. Yeah, based off of this open angle. So he's not going to wake up from a tank round. These two just need to move in. So final fight's going to be right here for green 4. Pile of ammo getting armored. Adding to the corpse pile over here. Vaughn's taking a few grenades, probably from Koshmar there. A few more blue 4 guys maneuvering around. Another green 4 group has now taken the tower. This tower seems to be really popular. Does Emperor still only have... Yeah, he's only died once. He really likes that tower, though. Hey, Ian. Oh, my. 30-minute mark just came on, and now all my symbols are busted. What? Oh, come on. Alright, we'll do a soft log real quick. That's not the first time that's happened in Wargames, by the way. That happened, I want to say, 3 or 4 Wargames ago. That was on the finish map. But that was kind of weird. But if my interface is busted, then I'm not going to be able to cover this. Please don't be busted. There we go. All right. Little refresh never hurt anyone. I agree. Pog's operations on Thursdays now have a pretty dynamic campaign, so we'll continue to see how it plays out. I gave Patch some feedback for that campaign just to make it a little tougher. Looking at a roster here, Op 4 still only has half a page of forces left. Blue 4 still have... They've got knocked down to about a page, though. But we're just seeing even trades going on now between whatever forces remain. What the hell? Pupper decides to try to kamikaze. Knocks out Blue 4 Command. That is his last life. What a trade. You'll get one soon, Ian. Just gotta be patient. I'm waiting for a few other small things. Oh, Sonic is prone glitched. I don't know. Green 4 have... Basically, they're going all in on this final position, but Blue 4 could still take this zone. It's just we need to see actual Blue 4 move in. Dream on 6 kills. You got Blue 4 setting up a bunch of guys all the way on the rear, completely out of position. Jesse wakes back up. They get the kill on this one Green 4 guy who saw his body flash and another copy temporarily take its place, meaning that was his last life because that's a debug thing. Can't do Fallout because I seem to get DDoSed every time that comes up. There's Lolo's final life. Basto manages to pull away from Rizbo. Grenades being traded. They bounce into different positions, though, so they're not useful. Rizbo climbs up. That was Wolf's last life. Great grenade on Basto. Grenade's going to double tap him. That was his last life. Green 4 now have the number advantage in this zone. Green 4 rushing in. Killer J also trying to take the other position, but no one's on it to defend. Meow manages to get Sonic despite him being prone glitched. Can't move over the body, so that's going to guarantee a double tap by Meow if he notices. Shoot him. Or are you looting him? Shoot him. I want Meow to wake up and 360 him. Or I guess 180, technically. We're not going to see it, but I'd love to see it. If only. Azariah with a suppressed handgun might actually catch Wombat as he's looting. Doesn't notice him because the grass is just a little too tall. Did he just look up and shoot at the helicopter? You did not just get that snipe with an AT4 oddball. Damn. And then Meow knocks Fran out as well. Brutality. Blue 4 still have control of the sector. Green 4 have the number advantage, but most people aren't in the zone. They're calling for reinforcements. Blue 4 also making a maneuver on the central zone. And then Green 4 sent a few guys in, but they were taken out. It's only Razur still up, as Blue 4 are now going internal on this area. I really don't understand what pulling those guys out was for, because now they're out of the zone, but Blue 4 platoon is completely dead at this point. And so is our Green 4 command. So now it's just whatever lasts. But Blue 4 are going to have at least control of 2 of these zones by the end of the game at this rate. There's the recapture of zone 1 and 2, quote-unquote, for that position. So Blue 4 have direct control of it. We see this Green 4 zone's getting ticked down because it's a 2v1. Dream still up here. Hasn't gotten any new kills on Green 4 Overwatch elements here. Oddball pushing Azariah. Trying to be sneaky about this. Almost gets taken out by the tower Overwatch. Rizbo still up, throws a... Oh, it's a smoke. Iander gonna get caught with a frag. And funny enough, Rizbo saves Azariah from getting friendly fired by throwing some really well-placed grenades. Azariah on 5, taking it slow. Gets headshotted by Rizbo because he literally walks into his gun. Rizbo could solo this. And if Blue 4 are slow to bring in their remaining forces and they lose the zone, Green 4 could win this by the skin of their teeth. 23 minutes remaining. The entirety of the Blue 4 garrison was knocked out by Ash and other people on Overwatch. Mike and Waldo, I'm assuming. Blue 4 still have some manpower to send in, but 23 minutes remaining. Could go either way. McPhil still on this spot. He's waiting it out. What's his death count at? 0. So he hasn't died yet, so he's going to be playing incredibly cautious. Green 4 sending a few more forces up to secure the zone. Because with 1 and 1, it's not going to trade hands. Blue 4 still has a tank they could deploy in as well. You got Nem hiding on the outskirts. Rizbo on his last life. I thought he got up to 5, but now he got knocked to 4. That's weird. All right, Sector 4 and 3, aka the Central Sector, has been officially recaptured by Green 4, so they're going to continue to hold it. Green 4, guys haven't entered the zone, and I'm not seeing a tick down on this spot, so this one it looks like the area just has to be a bit closer. But they're instead going to hold Overwatch. They got Wes out here with suppressed sniper. Thought he was keeping eyes on Nem, but seemed to have lost them. Nem, meanwhile, took the sniper scope off and put it on his 5.56. Now, if that tank comes in and plays direct control of the AO, I don't think armor can take sectors or hold them, but that would be a very nice force multiplier to basically stop Green 4 from moving into the position. West still looking. He saw Rizbo's head, but he opts not to shoot, knowing it's a friendly. Good call. So that was Green 4's last reinforcement wave coming in, and I think he just sniped them all with the tank. So that was Green 4's last chance to basically hold the zone in total control. No reinforcements are now coming. One bird has hit the tower. Rizbo, I think, just got blown. Nope, that was another Green 4 guy that got blown up by a grenade. There's his body. Nemesis gets that kill. Dodging a falling weapon next to him. Rizbo looking around, probably doing some combat looting. With that, though, it looks like the Green 4 team that was in here also got blown up by something. When I wasn't looking, Blue 4 is going to maintain control of that sector. I think this is GG. There are 6 Green 4 remaining. Blue 4 have at least 15 to 20. Most of them are in this far zone back here, but
Let's get him a warm.
this is it. Other tank is now coming into support. That is not the first helicopter that Green 4 lost to something sniping out of the sky before it could deploy its forces. I think that happened at least twice, maybe 3 times, but all of that manpower being lost in the vehicle, I think, is what really cost Blue 4 the game here. How did this get knocked? This is a bus. It got knocked upright. Huh. Goose, time to buzz the tower. Yeah, that's if the Tomcat hit the tower instead of buzzing it. With 18 minutes remaining, Blue 4 having majority control of the sector. It's literally going to be up to Rizbo here. I don't see Bagman coming in. Well, shit. Nemesis just starts shooting at Rizbo. Luckily, Nemesis runs out of ammo. Rizbo's able to walk in. He's got a lot of medical to do. Bagman, he's on his last life. No kills. He's just kind of staying on the outskirts. And then Wes hasn't moved because he's trying to play Overwatch sniper role. Maverick, did you say hit the tower? God damn it. Well, I know Blue 4 have drowned a few of their helicopters in the river over here, which is kind of funny to see, but... Now you got McPhil moving in. Might be able to catch Rizbo medicing. Except the tank missed PIDs. He slips off. Not sure if he was shooting at Nemesis. There's Azariah's body. Scrolling out real quick. We still have some Blue 4 reinserts coming in, though. Green 4, meanwhile, they're just all out of the game. Rizbo still medicing, but McPhil doesn't push. Wait. He's got to check the other corner. He doesn't. Rizbo notices, but McPhil doesn't commit. That... If the machine gunner didn't kill him, the grenade would have gotten him. So there goes Rizbo. Blue 4 has an additional tank coming up. GG. Game ends in 15 minutes. It's already over. I'm going to give it 2 more minutes. If I don't see Green 4 make any aggressive actions on the remaining 2 AOs, we're going to call it, give it to Blue 4 because Blue 4 have won it at this point. Because apparently the points don't matter. It's just whoever has sector control majority, which, okay. Bagman playing overly cautious here. McPhil moving up. Could get sniped by Bagman. Oh boy. Wait. Nope, you didn't see him. McPhil gets caught on the textures as he's trying to move away, but Bagman stops shooting. Dream's still only on 6. His scope is misaligned with the camera, so I'm not going to be able to see where he's actually looking. The landmines only got 1 tank, and then it took AT to finish it off. The rest were just engaged by vehicles. Blue 4 throwing more grenades in here, not realizing everyone in here is already dead. They just knocked their wheels out. Sailor's like, huh? And then he gets knocked out. What am I watching? Just... Okay. Alright, that's enough. No fucking way did you just do that. You fuck. A 1,600 meter shot with a tank. With a chopper flying. That's amazing. It's one of the last reinserts, too. Bagman takes a hit to the thigh. Trying to engage Cyrus a bit more. Nemesis moving around. Wes, I'm going to be very impressed if Wes somehow gets Nemesis. All right, well, the old man is definitely showing his age, but he was at least able to beat the bolt action at range. Bagman knocked out, double tapped. His body comes up for a second. That's GG. Green 4 only has manpower in the center right here, and if they try to fly in, apparently a tank will just snipe them in the face. So that is game. Bloodwing is hounding me to go finish the laundry because we have a double date tonight. So later tonight, I might be back to stream either some Mission Endeavor Darktide because I've got literally 5 people DMing me asking if I'm going to recreate what just happened in Venezuela last night. Fine. We'll do it on Monday as well as something else I've been wanting to do for the past week. So it'll be a double up on Monday, and we'll get right back on our full schedule with the new year. So, guys, that is it. Blue 4 victory. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.